In case you missed it, Full Mount MMA interviews are officially back. Our journalist Mike Owen sat down with Joe Pyfer today, coming off his TKO win over Israel Adesanya last weekend. Pyfer discusses how he'd approach a fight with Khamzat Chimaev and reacts to fans urging Izzy to retire. Go check out the full interview on our second channel, links in the description.
I just kind of feel bad with the way the media is kind of treating him, calling him washed and saying all these negative things about him.
Does that serve as a reminder, the way people are treating you? Because I know that you will remember how people treated you after your fight against Jack Hermanson, and how people are probably treating you, and the difference between, what's that phrase, you're only as good as your last fight. Does the way that you're seeing people treat Izzy remind you how fickle that the fans, and maybe to an extent the media, can be at times?
100%. The fans are fickle, but for the ones that have, this is our guy. Like, this is just what we do. We're competitors, but we're not enemies. And I think I used to view everybody I was fighting as an enemy before. But we're with everything that's happened in my life and my faith, like, we're all supposed to be for each other. You know what I mean? Like, and that's our guy. That's my guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, we're supposed to be picking him up and encouraging him to move forward. He just said he's not leaving, and he's one of the best of all time. It's not like he didn't fight well. It's not like he didn't have some success, and everybody's just, clowning the guy like he wasn't the best in the world, or like he didn't have a good fight against me. And I feel like that's just it's just cold. So, but the fans are fickle. It is what it is. Unfortunately, that's just the direction of the world. It's easy for everybody to sit at home and call out people that have courage to go in there and do what we do at this type of level that we're on.
Take your style out of this question for a second. If you were John Marquez and you were head coach building a game plan for someone to beat Khamzat, such a dominant champion, what would somebody need to put in place in order to get the victory?
I think you have to obviously do your due diligence on your wrestling, and understand that the only thing he's going to throw in the beginning is to set up that initial takedown. He wants to wrestle early so he can fatigue you. And if you're super disciplined, I would say probably for like the first 10 minutes of that fight, where you're just ready for the shot and you're just throwing everything up the middle and changing levels with him, where you're staying low and you're staying grounded so he doesn't get a chance to get under you. I think that you have a very, very, very good chance of winning. But that's just from what we've seen. I think if you're able to stop the takedown, you have a very fair chance of beating Khamzat. But, it's not like he's not a threat on feet. Definitely hits hard. He's definitely got speed. He's definitely complete. It's just he's a lot more uncomfortable on the feet if he can't dictate it. So, throw things up the middle, man, and make it chaotic. He doesn't want chaos. He wants control. So if you can make it chaotic, he's going to struggle.
Daniel Cormier has responded to Nate Diaz's recent comments on Theo Von's podcast. Nate criticized DC, suggesting he's bitter and jealous over the fact that Nate earned more money despite never becoming a UFC champion.
I've never seen a single DC fight in my career, except for when I was on the same card as him one time, and he was picking up the dude and walking around like he just owned him, like he was hella tight, and then I looked back at the screen, and he was knocked out on his. That's the only DC fight I ever saw. And he wanted to talk about what I should do and how I'm not a good fighter. And I'm like, are you mad because you were the champion? And when I was nowhere near champion, I got paid way more money than you. That's a bitter little. He's analyzing fights.
Got it.
I'm like, you're a great wrestler, DC. You can't fight for. You win fights, but you're not. You're a big old. Remember he cried? Hey, Nate Diaz's record sucks. I'm like, you cried. I didn't mean to even talk about it.
No, it's okay, bro. Cut that out.
DC fired back at Nate on his YouTube channel and points out Nate's 13 losses on his record.
Last time, I told Nate Diaz that you will not compare us. But let's do that for a second. Let's compare us. John Jones, Stipe Miocic. That's it. Koji Owashi, Hermes Franca, Clay Guida, Joe Stevenson, Gray Maynard, Rory McDonald, Benson Henderson, Josh Thompson, Dos Anjos, Conor McGregor, Masvidal, Leon Edwards. That's 13 times. And I'm looking on this, and that's 13 times to 13 people. Did he have any rematches in there? 13 times to 13 people. This is mine. This is who I lost to. That's who I lost to. Two people. I, in my life, guys, and I'm telling you, for me, it's hard for me to fathom losing to 13 people in the sport that you chose. And when I lost those fights, I was in my mid to late 30s. Mid to late 30s. And 2 dudes were able to get me. You lost to 13 people. You were losing fights in your 20s. You were in your absolute athletic prime in a sport that you chose, and you got beat multiple times by all these people. Now, hey, I was being respectful. I was respectful the first time. I'm respectful of what y'all were doing the last time. But you lost to 13 people in a sport that you chose. That to me is crazy. I said yesterday it's impossible. Somebody corrected me. They said, no, it's not impossible. You can lose that many times. But you go tell Ilia Topuria there are 13 men in the sport that he chooses that can beat him, or Islam Makhachev, or some of the other fighters around the world. There are so many people that cannot lose to 13 different people, especially in their athletic prime. Maybe it's not impossible, but I mean, come on. That's crazy. But you want to talk about me, Mr. Champion. Yeah, I was a champion. I wear that badge proudly. I love that I was a champion. I love that I get to do commentary.
DC also addressed Nate mocking him for getting emotional after his second loss to Jon Jones. DC responded by saying perhaps Nate should have shown more emotion himself rather than appearing okay with losing.
But this dude is like, he sits up there and he talks and he talks and he rants. He just kind of loses his mind. Somebody got to check him. At this point, he might need a handler. I was there when they had to throw the towel in for Josh Thompson. He said, you cried. Nate, maybe you should have cried more than maybe we would think you care about winning and losing. Maybe if you cried, Nathan, you wouldn't be so okay with losing. Huh? Because I cried because losing to me was like death. That's why I cried. You don't cry. You go to the after party. You go hang out with your friends. You get beat on a Saturday. On Monday, you're talking again like you're the best in the world.
Petr Yan has responded to Sean O'Malley's April Fool's joke.
What's up, guys? Just got off the phone with Hunter, Dana. Sugar versus Amon at the White House is for the interim title. It will be 5 rounds. They said Petr Yan is going to be out till early next year with his back surgery. Right after his back surgery, he's getting hair implants, so he's going to be out for an extra few months. Sugar, Amon, interim title at the White House. Have a good day.
Petr Yan responded to that video by posting some footage of him training. Henry Cejudo thinks Justin Gaethje beating Ilia Topuria would be a bigger upset than Sean Strickland beating Israel Adesanya.
Ilia right now is the current number 2 pound for pound right now. He's undefeated. Hold on, come on. Hold on. Let me put my case. If Justin Gaethje is really able to take out a 2-division champ that's undefeated, that could potentially even fight for the 3rd, like, yeah, not just that, bro, but if we go talent for talent, Ilia Topuria versus Israel Adesanya, if we like look at their fight styles, yeah, Ilia Topuria is way more well-rounded than a guy like Israel Adesanya. He brings in the submission games, he brings in the takedown defense, and he brings in the takedowns on top of the power in his damn hands. So yeah, Justin Gaethje defeating Ilia Topuria would be bigger than Sean Strickland defeating Israel Adesanya.
Merab Dvalishvili broke his nose. However, he says he will not be getting surgery because the recovery time is 1 year.
What a good day and what a stupid accident. Again, 12 years after, my nose is up, even worse. As you see, it's even more cracked the same direction. And yeah, when I touch, my bones are broken inside. and one side I can't even breathe, and yeah, I'm gonna do x-ray now. I'm sure UFC will help me with that, even I don't have a fight coming up. And I'm gonna try do surgery to fix this nose, and let's see how it goes. First time when I broke my nose, it was in professional debut. Now it was just sparring. I got knee, like I said. So it's my nose. It broke like this.
Yeah. So kind of this. So when you look down, you can see it's, you know, off on this side. The hard part is your nose been broken. It's been broken like multiple times. But this widening that we see here, that's the part that we're looking at. Like, is this, you know, how many of these fractures are new versus old, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's always the big debate when you look at these. You know, like we'll look at
I did my x-ray, and x-ray shows that my nose are broken at 2 places. I just saw doctor, nose surgeon, and he said if he will fix my nose and then make straight, he has to rebroke other bones too, and it will takes 1 more year to heal up. Of course, I don't want to do that, and otherwise he said keep it that way and you can do surgery after your retirement. I said I'm not going to retirement next 20 years, so I guess I'm gonna keep my nose even more cracked what it used to be before, and I'm gonna deal with it, and I'm still gonna compete at wrestling tournament against Henry Cejudo at RAF, and that's it. God bless everyone. And
Colby Covington has reportedly filed a civil lawsuit against Jorge Masvidal, stemming from their infamous 2022 altercation. According to the filing, Covington claims he suffered a wide range of damages, including bodily injury, physical impairment, mental anguish, loss of earnings, medical expenses, disfigurement, and a loss of enjoyment of life. He's seeking over $50,000 in damages and is demanding a jury trial. The lawsuit revisits the incident back in March of 2022, when Masvidal confronted Covington outside Poppy's Steak in Miami Beach, just weeks after their fight at UFC 272, which Colby won via unanimous decision. Reports at the time state that Masvidal approached Covington while wearing a mask and punched him multiple times in the face, allegedly telling him, "You shouldn't have been talking about my kids." Covington suffered a chipped tooth and other injuries, and also claimed significant damage to his Rolex watch during the attack. Masvidal was later arrested and initially faced felony charges, before ultimately taking a plea deal and pleading guilty to misdemeanor battery in 2023. Now 4 years later, Covington is pursuing a civil case aiming to hold Masvidal financially accountable. What do you guys think about this situation? Why do you think Colby is deciding to do this so many years later? Drop your opinions in the comments. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Cool Adam. It says DC would leave Nate Diaz looking like roadkill in a fight. The second one's from Mr. M. Brown Jr. It says, didn't Nate lose his BMF fight? How is it his belt? That CTE is wild. And the final one's from Jaden Moat. It says, Diaz needs to remember he got beaten up by Jake Paul. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.